Hey guys, just a quick video to talk about collaborating on Microsoft Whiteboard. If you and your students or you and your colleagues all have Microsoft Whiteboard, can you work on the same whiteboard? Well, yes, you can. If you look at my landing page for Microsoft Whiteboard where it's listed out a bunch of my previously worked on whiteboards, you can see these two look a little different. They have a little Mr. Head and Shoulders. And that indicates that I am collaborating with somebody else, at least one other person on each of these boards. It says invite participants to this whiteboard, but basically that is the indicator that I've already invited somebody to this whiteboard. If I tap on that, it'll show me who my collaborator is. In this case right here, I've got Robert working on this whiteboard with me. Now that is a great question. I think you're thinking, could you do this with your students? Well, yes, you can. If you have students that you wish to see some of their work, they have Microsoft and they can find the Office 365 version of Microsoft Whiteboard very easily, just like I showed you in the very first video, going into their Microsoft Office, their Office 365 app on ClassLink, and then just adding Whiteboard. If you invite somebody, a single student or multiple students into a whiteboard, which I'll show you how to do that in a minute, they do not have to receive an email. So your students who are in grades 3 and younger don't have to wait for an email invitation. The collaborative whiteboard will just show up in their whiteboard program and they just click on it to begin using it. So I want to make sure that you knew about that. Somebody had mentioned, I think it was actually Robert mentioned, what a great way to basically see students work without having to have them take a snapshot of a piece of scratch paper that they're working on. If you want to see somebody's process, you can have one collaborative whiteboard for each student. It would take a few minutes to set that up initially, but you could have one collaborative whiteboard and they could continually add to that whiteboard and you would always have access because it would be between you and that student. Now, again, you can have multiple people working on one. Perhaps you have your kids set up in teams and they have to design something in a whiteboard. You can have as many other participants as you wish. So I'm going to show you how to do this from inside the whiteboard itself. So I have started a new whiteboard, and this is what I want to assign to a team. We're working on a project, and what I did is I went down in here in the plus sign. I went into template and I found one called effective problem solving and just tapped on it and it landed right here on my page. I can name it. I can even tell what team. This is team 4 and I'm going to assign this to the students in team 4. We have a lesson and we want to, perhaps we did a little experiment with plants or potatoes or whatnot. So whatever your directions are, you would of course present to the kids audibly and then they would have the opportunity to fill this out with their team. To add a participant, I'm going to tap on the little Mr. Head and Shoulders with a plus sign and then I can scan through and find my students if the system knows me. But if the system doesn't know me, I can just type in the name of a student. And you'll see that again it came up with somebody I know, but there's more people with the same last name. I want to thank the Scranton family for letting me show your names there. So it doesn't have to be somebody that you've spoken with before or you've worked in the whiteboard with before. You'll be able to find your students. For example, if I go in here and I'm looking for, I actually don't know any students with the last name Smith, but look, there are plenty of them for me to choose from. So I can simply add these names by tapping on them. And there's my first person. Here I'll add a few Smiths. And that's my team. All I have to do now is click on invite. And this page will be sitting in their Microsoft Whiteboard app when they open the app, either from Office 365 or from their device if they have also added it like you did.